Hey man, I'm like a kid in a candy store. We're down here on the lake that I had a little something to do with several years ago. It's actually an irrigation lake from my buddy Keith Kelly's farm. And I got Dr. Kelly down here, and I don't think he's excited at all. We've been here about 3 seconds, and has he helped me get the boat in the water? No. What's he doing?
I'm still sitting up here on the ground.
Oh, fishing.
I thought you was gonna fish off the bank. You left your boat up here on the ground.
So you know what kind of day we're in for. Here, let me help you.
Get back, get back.
Let me help you.
Get back.
Let me help you. No, seriously, I need to help you. Here we go.
You're 2 down already.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. We're in the jailhouse now. I mean the Rock House now. Hey, we're headed to Rock House Farm to a Hank Parker signature lake. This is our annual report on the progress of our lake. It's 4 years old now. I'm fishing with my best friend in the whole wide world, Keith Kelly. We go back a long way, and we're so excited to get out on this water, man. We're like 2 kids. Most awesome lake in all of America, Hank Parker Signature Lake. We're going to have a ball. Stay with us. I bet we're going to catch a big one. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's a big son of a gun.
Also today, Hank gets some tech help from Humminbird's Jeff Kolozinski.
I got a great buddy of mine who is a guru at all these electronics. Jeff Kolozinski, say it for me.
Kolozinski. Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, just rolls right off. We're gonna call him Jeff Kolo. That's what I call him all the time. He's my buddy. So he's gonna teach us the simple method on how to get the most out of your electronics.
Fishing is easy. Electronics can be easy too, I promise you.
And later, research manager Mark Sexton shows off some of Berkeley's new lure innovations.
All right, this one you call the Bearded Deuce. That is pretty brilliant.
Hank, did you know that you can deploy your talons right here from your Humminbird?
I knew you told me I could do that, so show me how to do that.
Well, yeah, it operates through Bluetooth, and that's one nice part about everything in your boat being connected. It is a one-boat network. So I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna select the Bluetooth option, and we just need to pair them.
Bluetooth Talon.
Yep, so let's go up to the top. I'm gonna highlight pair device. I'm gonna select that. So simultaneously hold and press the up and down arrows on, do it on your right talon there for me, please.
Port?
Yep, go ahead and hold them down now.
All right, they're searching.
Look at that.
Work.
It shows the talons are connected. That is fantastic. Okay, we're gonna take a little test here, Hank.
All right, I like
From
it.
your Humminbird unit, I'm gonna say talons down. And look at that.
They're going down, my brother.
So Hank, if you dropped your remote control lake, you've got some options. You can raise and lower your talons right there from the Humminbird.
That is so cool. I never even knew that existed. All right, now you deployed them. Let me see you raise them back up.
Fair enough. I'm just gonna come up here,
Talons up.
talons up, and select that. And you can watch them.
Yeah, 9, 8, 7.
All of those features are working.
All right, a question. What if I was on map? Or what if I was on 2D sonar? Now I want to bring my talons up, they're deployed. Can I push this button like I did? Yes, I can. Give me Knuckles, my brother, and I can push talons up, that's talons down, talons up. And I can watch them, look at them. I love it.
And it's easy. You just hit the power button and up comes some common commands that you'd want your boat to do. But on the one boat network, it's all done from the same unit.
Look at fish tearing it up right there.
I'm looking at that. 61-degree water temperature, boss, that's good. It's very important when you're fishing a lake that doesn't get a lot of pressure to take the fish out. We do this every year. we try to take out. We need to take out a lot more than.
You put this in there yet?
Nope, I ain't doing that. You're aggravating. I'm not gonna do it.
Sorry, rascal, you.
Not gonna do it. You know, anytime I go to a lake where there's a big fish, I'm thinking jig, and I'm thinking a big jig. I'm thinking something that offers a lot of meat. You know, these fish feed on threadfin, they feed on big gizzard shad, so they feed on bluegill, they feed on crawfish, they feed on a variety of bait. So I like the idea of being able to go with a big bait. So I start out jig fishing, and I love to swim a jig, and when you got stumps and brush and all kinds of stuff, I love to put a pit boss on. And that pit boss, let me just tell you, is one of my favorite baits in the whole wide world. Those little legs move, that is one fantastic jig for swimming. So that's kind of what I really felt like we were gonna catch our fish on.
Yeah, there's a fish. I just laid that out in the water. Look here. I just laid this down. When you're good, Keith. Look here. When you're good, you're good.
Well, we did. I caught a lot of them on it. But it wasn't earth-shattering like I thought it would. So we changed around, and Keith's throwing all kinds of different things. And anytime you got big fish in a lake, it's hard to beat a 10-inch power worm. This was kind of a great bait, and I love this. Power bait's just a fantastic bait. And that big 10-inch has got a big profile, a good way to catch a big fish, and I like it because I can feel it. You know, normally you're fishing a plastic worm, you don't have a lot of feel. This bait offers enough swimming action and enough bulk, I can really feel that worm. So if I'm fishing in that shallow water and I run it by a stump and I'm fishing it, I can actually feel the bait itself. So when it kind of goes flat or goes slack or all of a sudden I don't feel it anymore, I know it's a fish. So I like that, and that's a bait that we used a lot.
Look at that fish bang.
What fish bang? I'm gonna tell you what we're doing, guys and boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen. We're fishing in a lake that Keith built for irrigation, that I helped design structure-wise to draw the bass. Primary purpose is irrigation for him, primary purpose for me is fishing, but you don't overfish a lake, and we have waited till what I felt like was going to be the perfect time. Now we got a little cold front that we're dealing with that might make it a little bit less productive than what it could have been had everything stayed perfect. The weather is going to be all right today, but the water temperature is 61 degrees. Everything's perfect for these fish to move up to spawn. So we're still trying to get the right bait. I threw a jig, Keith's catching one every cast on a worm. They're small, and I'm trying to figure out how to catch a big fish. So the old spinner bug or the jig, I still think the jig's probably going to end up catching the bigger fish, but this spinner bug ain't bad.
Watch that line right now.
I see it, honey. Look. Oh, I had two.
I'll let you get a little one, I get the big one.
This is what's aggravating.
I wish you could catch one like this.
I like them little ones. I can get them in quicker.
You can't get one like that.
Nope, I sure can't. Wish you could get
I
you.
had one that was eating that for breakfast just a second ago. I'm gonna tell you something now. Y'all be able to sell them spinnerbaits because they sure hitting it.
Oh, they like that old spinner bug, that old Hank Parker bug. They like it. Realizing how much bigger mine are.
What you gonna try now?
Well, I picked up this lipless bait. It's called a war pig.
It's hard not to throw this jig when you catch one every cast though.
Here we go. You say, well, that's like a rattle trap. Well, it is somewhat. Well, that's like a hot spot. Well, it is somewhat. It's got a narrow, sharp back and a fat belly. So it is uniquely different than most lipless crankbaits.
Am I gonna get down there and catch your fish for you?
I don't know. See? And this thing will catch them. Now, I'm gonna tell you, it will catch them.
Pretty nice fish right there.
Great fish there. The only problem fishing with Keith, if you only have one of something, the minute you catch a fish on it and you turn the camera to say something, he takes your rod. We're gonna take a commercial break because we're gonna take a still shot. So you no longer have the bait. So Keith took this away from me. And he wore me out on it for a little while. Of course, he's gonna brag about it,
Good, like this little war pig now.
that it was his expertise that caught the fish.
That's the rod and reel I was using. Huh?
But it was actually his thievery of stealing my bait that paid those dividends for me, but he wouldn't let me have it back.
I lost it. What happened?
Snooze, you lose, what do they say?
Snooze, you lose.
This portion of Hank's Show is brought to you by Berkley. Catch more fish. Yeti coolers, built for the wild. This portion of Hank's Show is brought to you by Berkley. Catch more fish. Now it's time for Hank's Tip of the Day.
Let's talk about that bad boy.
Oh boy. So I think a year or two ago, I can't remember, I think it was a year and a half ago, let's just do that. We came up with a way to basically use power bait in lieu of having to have a silicone bass skirt, right? Like a jig and a pig, right? So we looked like, can we make basically a jig out of power bait? You know, we have in the past, but we use like silicone rubber like everybody else. We wanted to incorporate our scent and taste technology into the tentacles, like in a big way. So we said, well, can we make baits that look like jigs just out of power bait? And we're like, yeah, sure. So we figured out we could do that, but then we figured out what are the best tail types on a jig? Single tail, double tail, like a swimming tail, and then like a craw tail. So it's exactly what we did is we made 4 styles of what we call the bearded series. Obviously the bearded series because they have beards, right? So instead of having to buy a jig and a trailer, you can now take a Texas rig and put it on there and you got yourself a double tail. Or you can take a football head and put it on there. And so that we got the double tail for like the football style. We have like a grass pig style, which is just a kicking tail, a pokey tail, a single tail grub for like swimming grubs, and then like the chigger craw legs for true flipping like a jig. So we covered pretty much 90% of what you'd use a jig for with true power bait. You get to use your own terminal. It's user friendly.
All right, this one you call the bearded deuce.
The deuce.
All right, and what do you call the one that has a chigger craw tail?
The bearded craw.
The bearded craw.
Yep, and then we have the bearded grass pig, and then the bearded single tail.
That is pretty brilliant. Now again, I haven't fished these, but in my mind, I can see where they'll be killer. I like them. I like them already. And I'm thinking of putting it on a football jig. That's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
I like it.
Oh, big one, King. Oh. Pretty good fish, right? That's a 6-pounder.
Fat with fish in it. That's a pretty fish.
That is beautiful fish. Beautiful fish. Man, that's what makes you feel good when they're that healthy.
I'm gonna tell you, they like it. What's this thing called? A pig jig?
War pig.
War pig.
War pig and a wild thing. Look at that rascal. Come here, buddy. Isn't that pretty one? Oh, look right here at the boat, right here at the boat. Look at that whirling.
Nice bass right there.
That is.
Heavy.
Fat and heavy. Been feeding on these gizzards right here.
Keith says I don't think they'll hit a spinnerbait. Hang on, let's see if they will. We'll be right back.
You know, I was a little bit worried about all these gizzards putting them all in here, but I think they have paid big dividends. Let me just tell you this, you can quit worrying now. Every one we catch got a big old gizzard tail sticking out of his throat.
Hank's Show is made possible in part by Luz. Feel the difference. And by Minn Kota, Soft Science, Solar Bat, and Talon.
That's one of them immature bald eagles right there. I'm not looks like a golden eagle.
You know, Rock House is one of these places that I had the opportunity to start from scratch. Keith had to have the lake on his farm for irrigation purposes. So while you're building this big gigantic lake, let's make it a bass lake as well. Let's put some rock piles, let's make some drainage ditches, let's do some neat stuff, and let's stock it. And Keith is the only person that I've worked with that's really willing to go the extra mile. crawfish, threadfin, gizzards, fathead minnows, shiners.
That's a gizzard shed right there.
I see it. Everything. I mean, bluegill, 2 different types of bluegill. So the more variety of bait fish you have, the more aggressive your fish will be toward lures. If you only have bluegill, which is the vast majority of private lakes that are built, the state will recommend fathead minnows and bluegill, and that's it. Those fish, as time goes on, they get so acclimated to those bluegills, that's all they'll hit is a bluegill or a bait that looks like a bluegill, and that's hard to do. It's hard to mimic or duplicate a bluegill.
All right, you better make your picture with this one. That's the prettiest one you're gonna get.
So that's what you have. But if you have a lake that has a variety of bait fish, then you have an aggressive fish, and that's what Keith has.
This was the ideal place to build this lake. You know, this before we built it, it was complete wood, just like you see down there below the dam. And but it laid out perfectly to put this in here where you got 4 and 5 foot of water, where you're not growing reeds real bad, but yet you've got weed cover. But it's just got a lot of useful water in it.
You were so worried about irrigation and getting everything just right for irrigation. I was worried about taking advantage of all this fertile water.
Well, it works out great for irrigation, and it works out great for fishing. That's the cool part about it.
It does. I don't care about the irrigation.
I believe we can compete within a tournament, couldn't we?
Oh yeah, it's a big one.
You about got your picture one right there, I believe. That's a pretty nice fish right there.
Yeah.
8 pounds anyway.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a 9.
That is a big one. Big old bass fish. Heavy fish too.
Pretty fish right there.
Probably 9 maybe, I'm thinking. Probably 9. We set the all-time record here last year with over 300 bass in a single day. And today, we have caught over 400 largemouth bass. Look at this rascal, Keith.
That is a good one right there now.
Come on.
Get him in.
Hank Pocket Bug.
I'm gonna admit something. I've never seen spinnerbaits work quite as good.
We done caught us a bag full of weighing fish today, buddy.
Hank's Show is brought to you in part by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Mercury Marine, go boldly. Looking for more bass fishing tips and techniques from legendary angler Hank Parker? Go to hankparker.com. You'll have full access to all things Hank, including articles, videos, sponsor news, tips, television schedules, and much more.
You know, it's amazed me how I can do that with this little rod like this. It's hard to do it with a long rod.
You use more wrist. You got to push with that long two-handed rod. Little rods are a big advantage. Kind of slow this afternoon. Sometimes you go 3 or 4 seconds without a fish. The old pistol grip. Our buddies over at Lou's came out with the pistol grip rod. They brought it back. Lou Childers. Lou's actually the inventor of this. This goes way back to Lou Childers when he made the first speed sticks. He had a design much, much, much like this handle. And I tell you what that does. A lot of guys say, well, man, that's obsolete. This is old school. But let me tell you what you do. You get in a bunch of overhanging trees, and instead of two-handed, man, you just take your wrist, and it's like opening a doorknob. We caught those big giant fish on that little rod. It was so cool. Come here, buddy. Oh yeah, that's the biggest one of the day, Keith.
Fish right there.
So that was our whole deal at the Rock House. Man, I can't wait to go back. What are they gonna be next year? We're catching 8, 9, 10 pounders now.
Let me see him again.
Next year, the lake will be 5 years old. That's the magic age. So we're gonna see what we do next year. Well, we were hoping we could get 1 over 8 for a photo, and I believe we got 3 or 4 of them today.
Yeah, he's gonna be 9 something. Maybe push 10.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
yeah, he's about 6 pounds, about like yours, about like that last one you caught, maybe a hair bigger. Dr. Kelly,
Yes, sir, Dr. Parker.
It is the world record for Hank Parker's Outdoor Magazine, buddy. On the Keith Kelly Hank Parker Signature Lake, 5-year-old lake, we have caught more bass than we could count. Anything we could say, we could not even embellish. It's no possible way. We have had the most incredible day. My best friend in the whole wide world. A lake I designed, a lake he's managed, and a lake we've had a ball on this day.
I guarantee you.
I don't know if it could have gotten any better. Out of all of our years, all of the situations, all of the lakes, we've never caught so many fish. It was just blew our old world record apart. I mean, it was just crazy how many fish we caught and how much fun we had. God, what a dream it is. But that's what happens when you do everything right in a lake. Now our big challenge is we got to get a lot of those fish out of there. And what a fun job that is. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to catch them and get them out of there. So, man, we did that today, and I hope to get to do that again someday. What a show. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for being with me. For my buddy Keith Kelly, I'm Hank Parker. God bless you. I'll see you next week.
And don't forget to visit us at hankparker.com, the place for tips, giveaways, and more.
The house needs painting, the grass needs mowing. Where's he at? Gone fishing.